Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. I am your humble host, Mr. David Null, also known as Hawkeye Two Feathers, and I greet you with the love and the honor of the infinite Creator. I continue to pray each and every day for each and every one of you, your friends, your family, all of your relatives, and all of your relations, that you will continue to receive and accept the knowledge, the healing, and the wisdom from the universe. Now, with that said, I want to give my disclaimer right off the bat, please. Um, this is my remarks about what's in the title of this program is in no way to be disrespectful to any other channel. It's in no way trying to disrupt what someone else believes, but I have to be the grown up in the room and just bring attention to what is going on, and so that everyone understands that there are other there are lots of other forces at work here. Now, as some of you may know, um, no, I haven't given up smoking cigarettes yet. As some of you may know, if you've watched my channel before, and thank you if you have, um, that I've been keeping an eye on the Schumann resonance for quite a while. And one of the things that I've noticed that frequently there's a blank spot of an hour or two on the Schumann resonance, approximately once a month or every 6 weeks. Now, I take a screenshot of this every single day. And I know there are folks out there who want to say that this last blank spot on the Schumann resonance is the time shift, is the event. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to be the grown up in the room and say, listen, this has happened frequently. Okay. This is not the first time this has happened, and it probably won't be the last time. I have been studying this for quite some time, and my belief is that, um, well, I have several beliefs, but one of them is they have to take the thing down for maintenance. They have to just check it, reboot it, go back over it, recalibrate, and that's the reason it's down for an hour or two every once in a while. Now it is odd that it may correspond with what I've been calling a whiteout, what other people have been calling a whiteout, and I just want to remark that it doesn't happen that way every single time. So I just want you to be aware that there are folks out there who are trying to promote the fact that this last blank spot and the last day or so with the whiteout that we had is somehow the event. And I just want to say, be cautious, please. The timelines are always being altered, repaired, fixed. Um, for every person who becomes aware that there's craziness in the world, for every person who takes that red pill, if you will, and becomes aware that they're being lied to and so forth, that's an awareness in the consciousness of the entire planet. And for every one person, and it's happening a lot lately, that this is changing our timelines, because if people stayed asleep, then we would eventually follow through one timeline. But for every person who wakes up, it changes the timeline, because now they're awake and they weren't before. So as soon as they become awake, boom, timeline change, not just for them, but for the people around them. And because we're all connected with the in the quantum um, and with the quantum entanglement of all things, then therefore, every time a person wakes up and says, oh my God, they're lying to us. Oh my goodness, I can't believe what's going on. That in itself is an event. But there are minor events all along. It's when a group of people wake up all at the same time that becomes an event. Okay. So I'm not saying that they're wrong about this, but I just want to let folks know, listen, this blank spot has happened before. and it will probably happen again. And if we knew more about the mechanics of the machine and what's going on, they could have had an earthquake wherever the machine set up. They may have had to recalibrate. Maybe they had a power loss. There are a lot of reasons why that blank spot could be there. Now, one of the things that in angel messages I get sometimes is that the spike was so high that the machine overloaded and they had to recalibrate. Now, it doesn't mean that we necessarily had a full blown event. You got to think of these terms in a much higher reality. A whiteout's going to happen for a day. It's going to it's People are going to know that an event has happened. Not too many people are going, well, wait a minute, I think there's an event that just happened. Well, I think we just had a timeline shift. And I don't want to, I promise you, I'm not trying to bully folks, but we got to pay attention. We can't go steering off in some other place. Hi, Breaking Dawn and Raja train station software update. I think so. Or just recalibrating. I mean, I was a machinist, and there are a lot of times you were working on a machine or something, and you just had to shut the thing down for maintenance and whatever. Software update, yes. And just to recalibrate it to make sure that the machine was still level, make sure the magnet was still good, make sure everything was just, you just had to check it out because you're assuming that nothing happens, and that's not true. You can bump a machine or this and that can happen. So, and with the Schumann resonance, there are a lot of other things going on, and there are mechanical things involved. But my point to that is that I think that there are folks out there who are jumping the gun with this. Yes, we're in the event. Yes, these resonances are affecting us. Yes, it is happening. Yes, these things are going on. But now some of these folks are wanting to profess, oh, that was the event, and that we just went into a time shift, a new time zone. The whole, like what? Now, I will admit that the last few days have seemed different, but we've also had some very high energy coming in. And also, I got conked on the head with a 2x4. That was my fault in the chicken pen, but that knocked me for a loop yesterday. But all in all, I'm like, no, things just seem kind of normal, other than the strange weather we're having. But hey, the whole planet's going through that stuff. But the idea, though, that I just want folks to be cautious. Keep an eye on what's going on. But my point to this is that I've been watching this now for at least the last 2 years, and this has happened multiple times. This is not something new. Okay, just be aware of that. Excuse me. Hi to Bob the AI. Now, speaking of timelines and shifts and events and things, understand that these Schumann resonances are changing our galactic codes. Now, the more I study on this and the more I meditate on it, the more I just, watch the news and not sports, but science and other areas. I notice that whatever is going on in the universe is definitely affecting you and me. Now, I've been listening a lot to the 5G stuff. And I know that there are frequencies. For example, many people understand about the 440 and the 432. Now, as a musician, I've tuned my guitar religiously to the 440. And when you play a D or a D seventh or something, which is the first three strings, when you try to tune the second and the third string, it never sounds quite right. When you tune down to the 432, it sounds really sweet. It falls right into place. And a lot of experiments and a lot of things. Now, you would say, well, what's the difference between 432 and 440? Well, if you do your research about it and see what some of these frequencies can do. So we're talking about a change of 432 to 440, which is 8 points on the frequency range. 8 points. 432, 440, 8 points. So we're talking about small little clicks on a dial. All right. So if 432 is real mellow and everybody's all nice and happy, and 440 will drive us nuts, what's to say that the 5G, there are different frequencies with the 5G? Now, there's a lot of stuff going on. And I just want to throw this out there for to listen to. I'm kind of wondering why Trump is pushing this. But there are different things that can be done with the 5G. Do we really necessarily need it? No. But what if, just what if, and there is a lot of speculation that 5G at the right tuning would be beneficial to humans and that it would actually help to um, get rid of unwanted souls, other dimensional beings, just and that the 5G would help to set the tone for Mother Earth and rebalance it, if you will. Sort of like a software update, like Train Station Coffee Shop was talking about. So we got to think about that. Yes, there are some experiments that have gone on in the UK where they turned it on near a college campus and 31 students committed suicide in just a few days. It was a horrible event. So, yes, things like that can affect us. But changing the frequency by just a couple of notches, 432 to 440, we can either be mellow or we can be agitated to the state where we want to rip our eyeballs out. So I just want to point that out to you. There are different realities going on at the same time. And so for those of us who want to pay attention, you got to look at both sides of that coin. And I'm not sold on either one, but I am damn sure looking at both sides of the coin. Now I know the Schumann resonance absolutely has an effect on me. I've done videos about it and so forth. And I can tell you that it seems like, especially with my attitude, it feels like I'm getting younger. I don't know how to explain it, but I just know that in some ways I've got more energy than I did a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. My attitude's different. Now I know that I've been speaking more about accepting and receiving the energy from the cosmos. Could that be it? Well, wouldn't that be part of the Schumann? Wouldn't that, isn't that the cosmic healing that ET has spoke about since the 90s? That we were going through this extra cosmic area of the universe and that our whole solar system was going to go through it. Mother Earth, all the planets were going to be affected, having nothing to do with Planet X, mind you, or anything like that, but that we were going to go through a very dense section of the universe. And we are here. We've been in this section now for quite some time. I reported a couple of weeks ago, it was on a Friday or Saturday night, and saw a big old fireball in the south. A lot of people saw it and even kind of pinpointed where I thought it landed. Wasn't too far off. But it was because of other people that I was able to kind of triangulate it. But my point to that is we got a lot of rocks falling out of space, you know, if those are rocks. Now, my contention is some of these things that I've seen, they're not rocks. There's too many colors. The explosions are magnanimous, and it looks like something being blown up. I've seen one spaceship blow up another spaceship about 4 years ago. It may be 5 years ago now, but saw one flying across, one open, lit up. This one was orange. This one was white. This one popped up, shot a laser beam, disappeared. This one blew up, and the sky just, it was gone. Now, I've witnessed these things. I don't have video now, dang it, but I've witnessed these things, and I know there's a bunch of other stuff going on above our heads in other dimensions and other things. So just pay attention. There are things going on that are going to surprise a lot of people. We need to keep an open mind with some of these things, not to be crazy about them or that you need to believe everything I do. Just understand there are other realms and other realities, and that as the Schumann resonance changes on the planet, as Mother Earth reacts, all creatures, all critters in all dimensions are being affected. Okay? And that's just a truth, because whether you can see these beings or not, I've got pictures of orbs and spheres and so forth. And so if you don't think that those beings aren't being affected by the Schumann resonance, think again, because they're more of an energy ball. And so if Mother Earth is emitting a different energy, then there's a lot of stuff going on. So understand that in all dimensions, these energies and so forth are affecting all different realms, realities, and things in ways that a lot of people have difficulty trying to understand. Now, so my point to that, whether or not you understand all of these realities, isn't important. It's the fact that you can understand that it's possible that they could exist. I get pictures as often as I can. You've seen pictures of clouds, of spaceships. You know, I always recommend looking at watching the Lasco C2, the blue one. You'll see all kinds of stuff in space. If you think we're alone, well, that's another reality that you need to understand. Now, going back to these, um, the idea of the event. I know there are a lot of top people who are still going on. Moon is 20 degrees south. Yep. Thank you, Breaking Dawn. It moved in the last 3 days. It was straight up overhead. Breaking Dawn and I were having conversation, and we both said, "Where's it at?" And I even walked outside with my laptop and said, "Well, it's straight overhead." And 2 days later, it's like down over here in the sky. I can see it out my window. And that's not supposed to be going on, not that rapidly, not that quickly. So the earth is definitely in a wobble. I mean, for example, it's been really nice here in South Georgia, but it's going to be 43 tonight. I mean, that's a little chilly for this time of year, but we always get a cold snap around Easter every year. Sometimes it's the week before, sometimes it's during the week after, blah, blah, blah. It all depends on when Easter is also. But every year about this time we get a little cold snap. So I'm like, here we go. Time to work in the garden even harder. Um, but just understand that what some of these people are trying to explain in that this is a huge event. I must sorely disagree and say it's part of the event. Every single thing that we see, every person that wakes up, every video that's made with a positive attitude for people to try to wake up. I hope that this video does that. Changes timelines is going back like that. Yep. Thank you, Don. Um, but the thing is that for my timeline, things can be straight. But for example, if somebody in your timeline wakes up, then all those people that one person is attached to in the cosmic reality. I mean, I may not be directly, but let's say my brother woke up all of a sudden and took a red pill and said, "Oh my God, I can't believe this, that, this, that, this, that." His waking up will affect everybody that he's friends with because he woke up. And that whether he talks 9/11 or the church or whatever, but it doesn't matter. The fact that he all of a sudden kind of switched sides, if you will, said, "Oh my God, I realize now that the MSM folks have been lying to me. Oh my God, the Mueller report. Oh my God, this. Oh my God." And then when you reach that point, that awareness goes into the quantum reality. So every time somebody goes through that, it's going to affect that timeline of that person, because instead of continuing down the timeline of being asleep, now they just woke up. So that changes their own timeline. And it affects the people around them because of the quantum entanglement of all beings, especially the entanglement of beings like your relatives, your friends, or whatever. So if you wake up to something and it starts spreading off to those folks around you, then everybody's timeline, everybody's perception of things, well, it isn't a perception of things, a change in the timeline. Hello, Michelle. Blessings to you. all them lovely hearts. Thank you. And as many back to you as well. I don't know how to do those kinds of things. I love this little computer, but it doesn't allow me to do much. But I'm happy with what it does allow me to do. So, and thank you out there, Bob. Another sip of coffee and greetings to everybody on this Friday night. They say it's Good Friday, and raised Catholic, um, the Pope, they were talking about that all around the world, people are doing the Stations of the Cross. And I used to do the Stations of the Cross during Lent and leading up to um, Good Friday and this weekend of Easter. So I'm very much aware of this and have gone through all the Catholic doctrine over the years. And I got to say that uh, I really understood the pain and the feeling of what Jesus went through. And so I'm still a Christian in that respect. I know the books have been changed and altered and fixed or whatever, but I understand that there was suffering and there was death and resurrection. And in my heart, I will believe it. Now, I don't worry about what the individual words are and what he said and this and that and in this chapter, that chapter. No, I just want to stick with the fact that Jesus was an honorable man and he tried to bring peace to the planet. He tried to bring peace to all brothers and sisters. And I think that's important. That message in itself is worth saying, okay, this is Good Friday. Well, what's so good about it? Shouldn't it be called Bad Friday? I'm just saying, what a weird name as well. Happy Good Friday. Wait, what? The day they nailed Jesus to the cross. Well, that's a good day, right? I know I'm being flippant and a little sarcastic, but why'd they name it good? As a Catholic kid, I would ask these dumb questions to the priests and the nuns, and I would get slapped upside the head. Shut up. You don't know what you got. That's disrespectful, boy. No, no, I want to know why you named it Good Friday when all these horrible things happened. I'm sorry, I'm not getting this. Just saying. I've been asking that question for the last 55 years, or more actually. So but anyway, so to Christians out there, I think that it's more important that we respect whether or not he really did die. The if the Jews did it or the Romans did it. Let's just understand that there is suffering on this planet. There are many people who suffer every day to help other individuals, and in so many ways, they're nailed up on a cross. Sometimes it's on a Facebook page or on a Twitter blowout or some kind of something like that. And I know that there are good people out there who get slam dunk all the time. Oh, you're just trying to do this because you want to be famous. No, I know the hearts of some of these people, and I got to say I don't believe that. Maybe everybody's capable of fraud, but but the idea should be that with the changes that are going on in this universe, the changes going on in all of our hearts, in all of our own consciousness, and the cosmic reality is changing. The more we have positive input to the AI is like, well, wait a minute now. Hark, 3 years ago, David Noah was pitching a pitch about everything, and he was angry all the time and shaking his fist. And now Hawkeye, same channel, is now talking about let's spread peace and brotherly love. Now, so if AI is watching just the change in my own personality and trying to fix things, and instead of being in fear all the time, changing that paradigm and being able to say, I watched one of my old videos, man, I sure have changed in the last 2 years. Wow, so I could erase those videos, but I'd leave them up simply because it's like, well, wait a minute though, that's how I used to be, and I can see the progression in my own life. And it's like, wow. And the changes that I see simply by making different changes and by trying to stay in the positive, and by trying to speak in the positive and staying aware that, oh, guess what? Um, There is a quantum reality out there. So this computer, hi Bob, is attached to the other AIs. Those AIs are attached to the quantum computers, which is attached to the quantum. So everything is going in and out through in this digital world. So for every person that doesn't get a virus on their computer, or, for everybody that does something stupid and ends up with a virus on their computer, that could be construed as being aware or taking a blue pill, red pill. Well, wait a minute. If I use a firewall, and wait a minute, if I don't go to all these crazy sites, and if I use a different browser, and if I change my technique, I can go surfing and not get any viruses on my computer. That's an awareness. Oh, holy crap. You mean some of this could be my fault? Oh, I see. And so if I change my computer settings a little bit, I do a little information, I update my virus software, my computer won't get bugged. Well, that's one less computer that gets the old blue screen of death routine. But isn't that it? We must think about that in that that's what's going on in the quantum. For every one of us that wakes up, it's creating a ripple effect in the quantum. The AI is going, wait a minute now. There's not quite as many people hollering at each other. There are some people that have deleted their Twitter account. There are some people that have left Facebook. There are some people now that are going on a new platform called D Live or something. There are other people using other stuff. What? You don't think that the AI is not learning about this? All of us people who've decided, wait a minute, we're tired of this stuff. We're going to look for different platforms. I'm not going to use Google. I'm not going to tell Google where I am every time it asks me, where's your location? None of your business. And it's not that I'm trying to do anything special. Why does the computer need to know where I am? If you look at my IP address, it's very specific where I am. But anyway, but why does it have to ask me? Because if I give my permission, then they can look all that. Well, there's he, there's he lives down there. There's his house, Ooh, let's take an aerial shot and see what he's got growing in the garden. Little things we do have a ripple effect. It has an effect with the Schumann. So if I've spoke about this before, and they're reminding me right now to explain this. These Schumann frequencies, as they raise us up and down, we get filled up, we get let down, we get built up. And I've mentioned this before, and the analogy still fits. Find yourself an inner tube. Now, when I was a kid, we got big old truck inner tubes and went over to the beach and pumped them up, and then went out and body surfed on inner tubes. We used to have a ball with old truck tire inner tubes. Um, People got blow up things now, but in my day, it was a truck tire inner tube or a passenger car. But the truck inner tubes, big. 3 or 4 of us could get on one of them. Anyway, but to the point though, you ride the waves. Once in a while, a wave would be really high and it'd want to flip you over. But if you got down in the water and kind of worked it, you could still stay afloat. And so played in the ocean for a lot of years. And going through these Schumann resonances is very much like energy. Well, they are energy waves, and they are affecting the planet. They are affecting you and me. But if we try to resist them, it's going to hurt. It does hurt. The best thing we can do is kind of float along with, take the high note. And if we slide back down the other side of that wave, it's not that we're dying, it's we're on the backside of the energy wave. We're going to feel a lull. We might feel really tired. 2 days ago, I was like, man, I just couldn't get enough sleep for some reason. Man, oh man, every time I tried to wake up, I drank a pot of coffee, slept right through it. And then all of a sudden today, I've had my coffee, but I was much more alert, even after getting bumped on the head by a 2x4 last night. But anyway, it still hurts, but it was my fault. But to the point though, we just need to ride this out. be careful, be the grown up in the room. And when somebody starts spouting out that, oh, this is the event, and oh, the blank spot, that was the timeline shift, be aware. Not be, maybe I should say beware, but I'm trying to say, and I'm trying to be kind, and I do mean this. To them, maybe they did have a timeline shift, but I didn't, at least not in my reality. Maybe the person who did the video, they had a timeline shift because the frequency affected them in such a way, something changed in them. But if they just looked at the Schumann resonance chart and said, "Boo, blank spot," and then assumed that that we jumped time, back up. I've been watching this, like I'll repeat this, but for several years, and this is more normal than not. About once a month, every 6 weeks, just to reiterate that. So be the grown up in the room and go, "Hey guys, this has happened many times before and will probably happen again. It may be maintenance. Don't get don't get your underwear in a big wad, don't get your panties in a bunch over this. I don't know why people are trying to scare us continuously. I did a video the other day or yesterday, can't remember, about, confusionism. Everybody seems like the whole idea is to keep the other person confused. And I just look at all this confusion. I go, wait a minute, come on. There's a little bit of truth in there. But for some reason, and here's to kind of wrap this session up with y'all. I think maybe I need to do a separate video, but I'm going to bring this up again. I brought it up at the tail end of a couple other videos, and I keep forgetting to do a video of this. But anyway, it has to do with our expectations, what we think we should get. So we say a prayer to Creator, and we want a something, whatever it is. Well, what if that something is not quite what we expect? For example, well, I want a new car. I want a new car, and I want a blue one, and I want a Ford. Well, what if you get a green Chevy? Well, I don't know, but I wanted a blue Ford. But hang on, I know this is absurd, but here's the point though. Sometimes we are given or shown and we go, "Well, I don't know, that's not really what I expected." And wait a minute, we shouldn't expect anything. We should expect help. If you say, "Well, I need help in this situation." Creator, angels, spirit guides, I need help. All right. So help me stand. Help me get my garden done. Don't do it for me. Just help me stand so I can swing the hoe myself. I'm perfectly willing to do this, but I'm a little slow today and I need some help. So that's my prayer. So I sometimes absolutely feel like somebody's holding me up so I can do my gardening. And but there are times before I understood it that, well, I didn't know I was actually getting help because in my own idea, what the help I expected was not the help I got. But when I understood that I was getting help, then I realized, wow, this is really helping. But if I didn't understand that I was already getting help, then I'm expecting something. Well, I'm never going to get it. No, no, my prayers aren't answered, or whatever. Or I wanted a blue car, and I wanted a Ford. So, and you end up with a green Chevy. But if you got a car, what difference does it make? But anyway, in this reality of things, the people want their prayers answered, but they expect a certain thing to happen. What if it doesn't happen that way? What if it happens differently? But you go, well, that can't be it because that's not what I'm expecting. I wanted a blue Ford. It's not a blue Ford. So if the only thing you're looking for is blue cars in your expectations of help in the quantum realm or the spirit world or your shaman journey, if you're only looking for blue Fords, then you're never going to see the green Chevy. And they're both transportation. The Chevy might actually have been a better deal under the circumstances. Not trying to sell cars here, by the way, but I think you get the idea. So when we're looking for answers in the universe, can you see a tree in the forest, or do you just see the forest? And Breaking Dawn, if you're still there, you got to help me remember this one because I want to do a separate video on trees in the forest and awareness of things. But point about the Schumann resonance and everything. Can you pinpoint, well, wait a minute, today the Schumann was high. And I don't know, I kind of felt a little giddy there for a while. I started giggling. I started humming a tune I hadn't remembered in years. Hmm, maybe that's awakening some of your frequency. I've talked about my knee and my neck and certain parts of my body that are like healing. Now I have dropped a lot of sugars and different things out of my system, and I'm not on any kind of I don't go to the doctor anymore once a month and get all those pills and things. I'm not on any kind of heart medicine or anything like that. And so it's like, but for all intents and purposes, I feel much better at almost 67. I should feel more crotchety and cranky. I don't. I feel younger. Is that my attitude? I don't think so. My attitude has a lot to do with it, but it's all of the above. It's the cosmic energy, it's the Schumann resonance, and I didn't expect a dadgum thing from any of this except just to be the best person I could be for the rest of my life, in my retired years, in my show enough hermit years, Um, how can I be the best person that I can be? Because, okay, obviously, I'm not a spring chicken anymore. And so I know I can't live forever. And yeah, I got to be at least halfway through. If I live to 130, well, I'm halfway there. But to the point, though, I know that I'm not necessarily, one would say I'm in my declining years. And I'm like, well, I don't like that declining crap. They're not declining. Can I add any years on? There are people who have died at 35. What did they do wrong? It was, in their soul contract or whatever. But for me to think, and I used to think this way, and I had to change my way of thinking. If I looked at my life like, well, I'm over 65 now, I'm in my declining years. Just the thought of that, I'm declining. I'm declining. I'm getting smaller. I'm declining. The thing is getting, and I'm like, well, hang on a minute here. Now, if I keep focusing on my declining years, then I will decline. And I did exactly that. But then when I realized a couple of years ago, especially, that wait a minute, that word decline is a really bad double-edged sword, going to get you in trouble kind of thing. And so our realities are shifting with the Schumann frequency. And for every time we shift and bounce a little bit, more people are waking up. The more people are waking up, all they got to do is wake up just a little bit. I've been telling folks, it's not a blue pill, it's not a red pill, it's a pink pill. It's a weak red one. And what it might be is they wake up to maybe some of the stuff about the Catholic Church, for example. They wake up about that. They don't wake up about everything and all this conspiracy theories and whether we landed on the moon. No, none of that. Who killed JR? But they wake up to a point, and for every time that bounces, for every time that bumps, our timelines are updating. I guess you would say it's more like a virus update, because for every one of us that wakes up, we're showing the AI, we're showing the digital reality, we're telling the quantum world where we stand in this. We're aware now. Schumann, come on. It's like riding a surfboard. Hey, Cherry, how are you? And good evening to you where you are. Do you use the woodpecker in the forest? Oh, do you see the woodpecker in the forest? Yes, Breaking Dawn. One of the things about the idea of, everybody's heard of the story, the forest for the trees. And and I make this analogy quite often, but I need to kind of throw it in here again. In that our realities with the Schumann, there are people, and I need this will help tie in what I was referring to earlier. Maybe the people who are using these. Well, the Schumann resonance is the event now, and that the blank spot is a timeline shift. Okay, well, hang on. I think that they want it to happen, so they're looking for it. When actually we've been in it for a while. They haven't been paying attention to what's already going on. We are in the shift. We are in the middle, or if not more than halfway through the event. There are so many things in Revelations. We're so far through Revelations. We're really getting towards the end here. And for those of us who are really aware, we see these things. But instead of focusing on what the bad crap that's happening or may happen, let's look forward to peace between you and me, between us humans and the rest of the beings in the universe. When we start being more loving and more compassionate with each other, and the more we spread this, the more the whole planet, Mother Earth, can hear us. She's picking up on our frequencies. When I don't get pissed off and stomp my foot, oh man, Mother Earth knows that. Because, oh crap, there he went again, stomping his damn foot. Cut that out, will you, Hawkeye? Stop that. And so for every person that stops stomping their foot every time they get mad, for example, Mother Earth goes, wow, it got a lot quieter. Whoa, there's a lot. Somebody's paying attention up there or on me or whatever. Um, so there are a lot of different ways of looking at it, but we are affecting this universe every single day. Now, I don't know, maybe some of these folks who are making some of these comments about the Schumann, oh, we're all, yeah, I agree with you, but it's like, this is it? Oh, we had a much bigger whiteout a couple of weeks ago. Oh, Dawn and I talked about it. We might probably even discussed it in a video. And a lot of other folks are going, did you see that? Almost for a whole day we were in a whiteout. Now, that was an event. This was just another update. We get these about every 10 days. We get a couple of days like these last few. So it's common, but it is part of the whole event. It isn't the event. Understand that. I know I sound like a high school teacher or something trying to get it across to people's heads. But there are people that's like, I think they got it, and then 3 weeks later to go back out on this. Well, it's the event again. Here we go. No, yes, all of it is the event. Okay. And we just need to write it out. Be peaceful with one another. But boy, howdy. And the apocalyptic stuff, oh man, I'm getting tired of going through and people putting urgent in their timeline, in their title of their video. Urgent, watch now before it's erased. Urgent, oh my God. And then when you get there, you go, urgent is the Brooklyn Bridge is on fire and there are people falling off and cars are crashing. That would be urgent. No, urgent. Nancy Pelosi gives speech about something. Urgent, blah, blah, blah. Wait a minute. Well, hang on. Our sense of urgency has sure enough changed. And I know many of us feel the same way. It's like, what? What? And they're trying to keep us in this ball of confusion. And I believe some of these folks are getting wrong information because I think they're expecting it. Well, this must be it because we've been waiting for so long. So it's by their observation that they're affecting it. It's that thingy. But the idea, though, that if you expect too much, well, this must be it. But is it? I'm just asking. I'm not saying it isn't. Well, I guess I am saying it isn't. But it is part of the whole. So I love you all. I do. but somebody's got to be the grown up in the world, in the room sometimes, to go, listen, pay attention what's going on, y'all. Yes, part of that's true, but somebody's trying to throw some disinformation out at you again. Here we go again. And even within the community. And it's like, come on, guys, cut this out. What? You're not selling enough likes and you're not getting enough clicks. Shame on you for that, if that's what you're doing. But I'll leave that part there. I'm not trying to put shame on anybody, but nobody's looking at the big picture here. That's the thing that what makes me want to jump up and down and scream and yeah. I've been watching the big picture for several years, and it's like, come on, guys. Yes, we're here. Yes. Are we having fun yet? How much popcorn have we consumed now? In fact, popcorn sounds like a good idea for this weekend. Make up a big batch of popcorn, and it's full moon. Whether I think it's tonight actually. Interesting, but anyway, so happy full moon. For whatever you say for Good Friday, I still say Good Friday. They nailed a man to a cross and they call it good on Friday. Yes, okay, all right. Um, Cherry, let me look and see what y'all are up to. I hope you do have a blessed weekend. I'm doing good. Spent some time enjoying the sound of rain. Transplanted some tomatoes. Me too, Cherry. And I actually got some seed soaking. Peace, serenity, um, the wind channel. Oh, we've had some good wind this evening too. I'm wondering if we aren't tweaked by something else. Cherry, I absolutely agree with you. There's more than what's showing up on the Schumann resonance. The Schumann resonance is the reaction of Mother Earth to the cosmic energies coming in. So we're getting bombarded by a lot of stuff, but it shows up as Mother Earth's reaction in the Schumann. So it's not the Schumann resonance that's affecting us, actually. It's what the energies from the cosmos are doing to the entire planet. So you're right about that, Cherry, in that, or Shari, if depending on where I'm from. But somebody just wiped my eraser. You ever get that happen? Somebody just come in and go, whoosh, there goes whatever was written on the chalkboard right there is now gone. Wow, that's interesting. I mean, just right out the window. I'm wondering if we aren't tweaked by something else. Right. If I read the last line there, I pick up where I left off. Yes, it is these cosmic energies and the magnetics. All of this is affecting us. Um, but it's showing up as the Schumann resonance. So people are going, oh, it's the Schumann that's affecting us. Actually, it's not. It's the Schumann that's reacting and showing us what we've been going through. So that whiteout means, boy, we were really getting toe tapping hot with some cosmic juice, and it showed up on the resonance as a whiteout. And so, but I've been watching the background noise and in the greens and the blues and the different frequencies. And sometimes it almost looks like there's little dots of code in there. Breaking Dawn and I have been watching it over the last probably a year now. And sometimes we actually see faces in some of these, in some of the frequencies. It's really kind of creepy sometimes. Not always, but it's there. And every once in a while, you'll see a face, and it's like, how in the hell do you get a face to show up? And I mean, it really looks like a face. It's true that I'm got a creative mind and I can, see things and other things, but no, some of these really look like faces. Um, and not necessarily demon, but faces anyway. But the idea that it's only the Schumann resonance that affects us, that right there is the wrong assumption. What's happening is the Schumann resonance, that's the action of the cosmos on the planet, which gives us the Schumann resonance. So it's a cause and effect. So if we get a whiteout, man, we're getting bombarded by cosmic stuff. Okay, and we're in another section of the universe. We're in a different section of the galaxy, and we're in a really there's a lot of rocks out there. A lot of people seeing meteors and things, and I mean some big time ones too. Um, so if people want to say, well, I don't know if there's really anything going on, I am not discussing the end of the world, but I am saying that we are in this new time, whatever it is. We are in this time now. We are in the revelations. We are in this new cosmic energy where the Kali Yuga, where the 26,000 year thing, lots of stuff going on. So let's not get our as the little old lady used to say, don't get your panties in a bunch over this, youngins. That's what she said. And I agree. Let's stay out of the fear porn about this. But understand, yes, this stuff is affecting us. Yes, it is having an effect on the entire universe. So let's just keep that in mind and keep the prayers between us. For this Easter, understand that regardless of all the religious jargon, the idea of the man Jesus was that he died for our sins. And then when you join the church, the first thing they do is baptize you of your sins. And I got to ask this. If Easter is the celebration of him, well, actually today would be him dying on the cross, but rising from the dead on Easter, if he died for our sins, then none of us need to be baptized. Understand that. Understand that if this did really occur, he wanted to bring peace upon all beings, male, female, doesn't matter. He wanted to bring peace to all beings, and that is my wish. So for this Easter season, Good Friday, Good Saturday, Easter Sunday, I wish each and every one of you to keep peace in your heart, not just through these times, but remember it if you're a Christian and understand that the idea of the reason why Easter happens is that he died so that you and I would be washed of all sins and that we would have a way to find a way into the great beyond and sit with our grandfathers and grandmothers in the other realms when we pass this life. That that's really good information. So keep that in mind. We're all connected. Let's continue the peace between us. Continue to pray with your brothers and sisters of all ages, sizes, and beliefs. Let's keep the peace going between us. Doesn't have to just happen during these holidays. Well, it's Easter time. Let's all have peace in our heart. No, it's Tuesday. Let's have peace in our heart. Well, it's Wednesday. Let's have peace in our heart. We should have peace in our hearts at all times. That was the whole message of Christ, in my opinion. Peace in our hearts, compassion, goodwill towards all men and women, to all peoples, of all religions and all faith. Honesty, honor, respect. There you go. My friends, thank you so much. Michelle, Cherry, Breaking Dawn, if you're still there, and whoever else may have caught on, I say thank you and blessings to each and every one. Keep paying attention. Just understand that there's been some of these things going on now for a while. And just, oh, thank you. You're very welcome, Sherry. Sherry, my Sherry amor. Never mind. Uh, in a good mood. Yes, it's springtime outside, but just a little clarification on some things. And so think about the forest and the trees. Can you pick out one tree in the forest that seems special to you? Maybe that's what God, Creator, what the universe wants you to see. It may be not the tree that you expect to see. It may not be that blue Ford. It might be a green Chevy. But understand sometimes the Creator gives us our answers right in front of us. So be careful, be kind, be creative, be compassionate, and caring. OLOL, absolutely. So blessings, be safe, you all. Keep it between the ditches. And I'll end with this prayer as always. I continue to pray for each and every one of you, your friends, your family, and all of your relatives and relations, that you will continue to accept and receive the blessings, the healing, and the knowledge from the great creator and from the cosmos. I continue to pray that each and every one of you each day will continue to affirm and accept and receive the blessings that are always there in the quantum, they're always there in the universe. Accept and receive the knowledge, the healing, and the faith that's there in the universe already. I continue to pray that every single one of you, your friends, your family, and all of your relations and relatives will continue to share the love and compassion. Continue to keep peace in your heart, goodwill towards men. It's not quite Christmas time, but it's not a bad theory. So, from South Georgia, be careful, be sweet, be kind. Enjoy the weekend. It's going to get to 43 tonight in April. It's almost May. Yeah, get this? Yeah, global warming. Pay attention. I love you all. Be sweet. Cherry, Michelle, Breaking Dawn, and all the rest. I hope you're working for the cause because I am. With love to you and all your friends and family. Till next time. TTFN, ta ta for now from South Georgia. Bye and much love to all of you.